Charmaine B.
And what year were you born?
What year was I born?
Yes.
1982.
And where's your family from, the black folks in your family?
My family is from South Carolina, the Sea Islands of South Carolina, and we are Gullah Geechee.
The question from yesterday's Soulville census, which came up, was that Obama and Lupita Nyong'o's family are both from, the black folks in their family, they have lines that are from Kenya, and it's specifically, I think it's pronounced Luo, so it's Luo. At least that's what I've researched. And the question was, is there any point at which it's important for people to know that their families are? And yesterday, when we surveyed people here at Dance Africa, a lot of people said that they couldn't really think of any circumstances in which it would be important. And then today, somebody brought up, for instance, like this is a place where you might see petitions circulating for reparations. And I would wonder, like, if reparations became a real thing, if the United States were to give out reparations, do you feel like it would be important at that moment for people to recognize that Lupita and Obama have a slightly, that not just that they're black, but that they're like the specifics of their blackness?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be important to recognize something like that even before the moment of reparations becoming a real thing, like a thing that's like enacted in policy. Just because, well, I identify as black American, I identify as Gullah. And black is like this term that kind of like brings us all together in terms of like solidarity. Like when I'm traveling in the diaspora, there's like that connection of like identifying as black and identifying with like this history of colonization and slavery and also this other beautiful things that came out of like these black cultures and like kind of putting in parallel and putting next to each other similarities of spirituality and music and food and whoa, at the 2-minute mark already. Wow. So while black is like this bridge term that connects these cultures that have these similar influences because of the history of the transatlantic slave trade, the reality is that there are different cultural and historical contexts. For instance, I am Gullah. I do identify as like a black Southern American woman. So I definitely honor and respect that lineage. But I also cannot deny that the language that my grandmother spoke, English and Gullah, the language Gullah comes from Sierra Leone. It's a Mende language. There's research that has been done that directly connects it to Mende. So I have to acknowledge that part of my ancestry. And I feel like in terms of this term black and like how we perceive black, we have to acknowledge that there are these cultural connectors, but there are nuanced experiences. There are nuanced experiences, languages, ideas, cultural frameworks, spiritualities that kind of blend to this larger idea of black, right? So, and for far too long that's been ignored, for far too long that's been erased, that's been shut down, right? So, even before we begin this conversation of, okay, there are reparations and let's look at like what blackness really is and who are these reparations to be dispersed to, I feel like that conversation of like these varying experiences and these complex layers of like how we come to define black needs to be addressed and integrated into like our cultural conversations, like specifically in the United States. So in terms of the question of whether Barack Obama or Lupita's heritage should be considered in terms of reparations, honestly, I don't know. I feel it's so layered, it's so complex. Part of me understanding the specific cultural history of the United States, for me, my understanding is the premise of reparations in the United States specifically is rooted in the folks of African descent who are descendants of folks who experienced plantation slavery here in the United States. But we know that there's a larger global picture of colonization that has impacted all black folks, all black people on this globe. And so I feel like it's complicated. I feel like the real question is, how are we defining blackness? How are we defining black American? What does that really mean And then how are we taking that definition and, you know, sussing it out or interrogating it in terms of like the question of reparations? So I don't know.